is going on, fellow farmers? CJ Farms here, and I had a request from one of my subscribers. This request comes in from a subscriber named Drewboy Gaming, and he had asked me, he said, CJ, can you show what equipment you would buy over others? Example given, certain seeder or spreader, liquid or solid fertilizers. For the beginners, I get so confused on what to buy and what multi-purpose equipment to use. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to discuss kind of what each piece of equipment does. We might test a few pieces, and I'm going to show you guys the cheapest piece of equipment you can buy up to the most expensive piece of equipment you can buy. I tried to get two of everything, kind of like when God got two of everything on the ark with Noah. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here, guys, in that aspect. The first thing we're going to look at is the mulchers. Now, we're going to talk about price difference, and we're going to talk about budget-wise, okay? So low budgets as well as medium and high budgets. So as far as your mulchers go, what I prefer, okay, and these are going to be, and I will show you where everything is, guys. If you go into the store down to tools and then go down to mulchers, these are the two mulchers that I am presenting right here. So the cheapest one being the $4,500 mulcher, which is right here. As you can see, it is $4,500. Now this is if you want something for a low budget, right? Low budget wise. If you want something for a higher budget, something that I prefer using is the TJP 610, because this has a much wider spread. Obviously, it gets a lot more done in a short amount of time. This one is 6 meters opposed to the 1.4 meters, but there's also a bigger one here that will still also fit your budget, that is 3 meters. Now there's different types of mulchers here that you can use for your farming experience. It's whatever really suits you, to be honest about it. Again, big shout out to Drewboy Gaming for this tutorial, man. I really appreciate the suggestion on the tutorial. And if you guys have installed the new Maze Plus, they do have that as well. Moving on over to our rock pickers, our stone pickers, which is what I call my rocky picky thingy uppers, okay? If we go into the store, go back down the tools and go down to where and I know I'm completely passing them up right here, stone pickers, guys. So this is the one I've got out there. I've got the cheapest one right here, which is for $25K. Now this is the cheapest one. Does it work? Yeah, it works. It gets the job done. It does. It doesn't hold near as much as the other one does, as this one right here. Okay, now if you guys are wondering why I've got two of those, that is a totally different story. It's just a different type of mod. Now this one right here is more of a low budget cost, $25,000. Now this one right here, I have found I can still fit this even into a medium budget type deal. Okay, for example, if I have a total of $80,000 right in my bank, and I want to buy this still kind of fits in my budget. It might break me a little bit, but in the long run, with you know, planting, harvesting, gathering eggs, honey, and selling all that good stuff, you're gonna gain it back in no time at all. And I'll do another video on how to make money with cows and animals and all that good stuff. That'll be a separate video. So for low budget people, you're gonna want to probably purchase this one right here, which is your signature 7200 Degelman rock picker or stone picker. And then for your medium budget, you'd probably want to pick this one right here, your 41,000. 52,000 is probably the one I'm going to recommend using, just because I like the way it's built. I like the way it works, and it holds a lot of stones. Moving on to our plows. Now, for our lower budget is going to be this one right here, your Vermeer plow. And the one that I always like using is this bigger one right here, your Titan 18, okay? I love using that big plow. Now, if you go into the store, go back down to tools and go to plows. Okay, this is the two that I have out right here. So the Vermeer, I'm sorry, it was the Agro, my mistake, an Agro. So these down here, of course, are affordable, but this is like your smallest plow you could possibly get right here. But if this is what you're into, cool, then you're into that. This one is literally $1,250 just the way it is. It's got a couple of different attachments. It's got one for small and one for big, but as you can see, the price does not change, okay? Now, this is for your low budget type deals. This one up here, your Agro, this one is for like your low budget and your medium budget type, all right? And this will get the job done, guys. This will definitely get the job done. Now, this right here, the Limken, is probably my favorite to use. The reason I don't use the big Vermeer, the PW100, is because it's just awkward to me. It just seems a little awkward when I use it. I would have to just use it to show you guys what I'm talking about. It's something about the way it turns. I don't know what it is, but it seems awkward. This one right here seems to do perfect for me. And if you're in a higher budget range, definitely this one right here is $59,000 just the way it is. There's no configurations, but it's perfect just the way it is. Going over to fertilizer sprayers as well as spreaders. Now, do I normally use fertilizer sprayers? Not really, but this is what I recommend for you guys, okay? So going to the menu, I'm sorry, not the menu, the store, and going down to tools, and we're going to go down to fertilizer sprayers, and your fertilizer sprayers will be right next to that, so we'll just do both at the same time. Sprayers, the ones that we have out is the extension tank right here, guys. This is the extension tank for the Hardy sprayer. This is the 1200 liter tank right here. Very, very handy to have, as well as this one right here. Now, if you notice, guys, the price on these is $5,000 and $34,000. So about a total, you're looking at probably 39, almost 40K for these two right here alone for sprayers. And 24 meters, guys, that's a pretty good stretch. I did pick this one as a one that I would recommend using, one that would be for me, myself. This one is 65K for your higher budget users, and it does have configurations for tires. You can do Michelin and all that good stuff. You guys know how to do all that. This is the one I would recommend if I did use a sprayer, but normally I use spreaders, okay? Fertilizer spreaders, guys, so this is the one I believe that I have out on the field, which is the Amazon piece right here that you're looking at. Going to the store, $25,000 for the Amazon right here. Now this again is for lower budget type deals. If you're looking to spend a little bit of money and get a nice piece of equipment, then yeah, I recommend getting this Amazon fertilizer spreader. So sprayers take liquid fertilizer, spreaders take solid fertilizer. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now, as far as the one I would recommend, or the ones I would recommend, I always recommend the Brettles. Because, and let me tell you why, because down here where you've got the spreading disc, the double spreading disc, you could actually turn that into, for $8,000 more, you can turn that into your spreading units. So these two actually fold down, let out, and spreads the fertilizer even further out. Cultivators, going back in the store, going down to tools, and going to cultivators. So the ones that I have laid out is the Limken 500K right here, which is for $24,500. You guys hear me say 24.5 or 25.6? It just means $25,100. Okay. So this one right here comes standard $24,500, which can get the job done, but is only a 5-meter cultivator, okay? Now, I do recommend that for a small budget, okay? Now, the one that I like to use, and there's two different ones here, and I'm going to show you the difference in these two, okay, because they both look the same. This one right here, okay? Actually, let me show you this one first. This one right here, as you guys can see, it's got a far spread of 6 meters, okay? As you can tell, it doesn't have really any configurations except for the tires. But if we go back to the one that's $48,500, you're going to pay the same. If you go down, change up your tires, right? Change up your tires. Your tires not, well, the wide tires will cost you extra. And by the time you put on the extension Vector 800, it's going to cost you $69,150, okay? So I recommend for the higher budget to get this one like right here, and the lower budget to get something like this, and lower budget can even get something like this right here. Even this one's not too bad for lower budget. Medium, lower budget. This one would be medium to high budget. This one would definitely be high budget and on up. Going over to seeders. I did not do planters, guys, because the only difference between seeders and planters is because planters does corn, seeders do not. Did I do planters? I don't think I did. Yeah, so seeders do wheat, barley, canola, stuff like that. Planters do corn and sunflowers. That's the only difference, and I believe cotton. So let's go into our store, go to tools, and go down to seeders. And we'll go ahead and look at the planters while we're here, guys. This is the one I have out here for the low budget, guys. $33,500 right here for this piece of machinery. And it's a nice piece of machinery, guys. I use this sometimes when I'm doing like smaller fields. Even if you're not using this for a small budget, guys, it can be used for small fields, okay? Going on to the very next one that I have out, the one that I recommend is going to be this Amazon Citan 1501-C, $206,000. Now, that is definitely a high or higher budget seeder. But the good thing about this seeder, it takes fertilizer as well as seeds, so you don't have to fertilize your field. It's already done through this machine right here. For planters, I didn't look at planters, but what I recommend for low budget is this Agro right here. That's what I would recommend for planters. As you guys can see, it does corn, sunflowers, sugar beets, cotton, and I believe soybean is what that is right there. I believe that's what that is. If I'm mistaken, guys, please correct me in the comments. Please correct me in the comments. What I do recommend for planters is probably this John Deere right here, or for a medium to low budget, or medium to high budget, you could even use this Vatterstedt right here. This is a good seeder right here as well, guys. Not a far spread. It's got 12 meters, not very far, but not very small. But it's a good machine to use. So that's what I recommend for planters and seeders. Moving on over to rowers. These are very important that you have rowers. Rowers comes in handy with the yield of your crop, okay? So go back to the store, guys. We're going to do a lot of back and forth here. Sorry about that. Go into store, go to tools, go to rowers, which is right down by your planters and cultivators right here, as you can see. Cultivators, planters, rowers. Now, I do have the only 2 base games that's with the game, which is this one right here, which is for $41,000, which can be kind of alternated between medium and low budget. But it's more, in my opinion, it's more of a higher budgeted machine, not because of the price, but because of the performance of it. It's a very nice machine, and it gets the job done. Now, if you're looking for a high price, high budget machine, this is going to be your best bet right here. This one right here spreads out so far. This one spreads out 24.3 meters. I love it. I love that machine. For small tractors, we're going to be looking at this Massey Ferguson right here. Okay, this is a Massey Ferguson small tractor and a New Holland small tractor. Now, this is a modded New Holland, but you can find it. Okay, guys, this is a modded New Holland. It's from a pack that I installed. But if you go in the store and go up to vehicles and go to small tractors, so what you're wanting to get, guys, for higher budget, you would probably want to get this Vulture right here. That's what I recommend. Vulture, great tractors. No hate against them. They're great tractors. And if you go down to in your setups right here and you take the engine setup over to the fullest max, you get 201 horsepower for small tractors. So they're good for pulling stuff like small cultivators, small plows, stuff like that. It's not going to pull much. I don't really use small tractors much. I use anywhere from medium to large tractors. Mostly I use large machines. That's what I'm using, okay? If you want a higher budget tractor than that, then yeah, I would go on up to maybe like Claws, Fendt. You can do stuff like that. I want to make sure I'm not doing mods here. Let me go back down. So Claws right here, guys. The Claws Arion 660 right here. This is a nice tractor for a higher budget, if you will. And then if you're looking for a low budget, then you would probably get into the Teeter or the Riggy Track right here. And I'm just going to say this, guys, about the electric tractors. I believe that's what this is. They're just not good for much. I mean, it just doesn't have much horsepower. It's got 68 horsepower max, guys, and it's got to have a charging station, which, in my opinion, they're just not that great. They first came out in FS19. I wasn't too impressed with them then, and I'm just not that impressed with them now. Going on to medium tractors, guys, again, a Massey Ferguson, guys, the 6718, and my favorite medium-sized tractor, the JCB Fast Track 4220. I love these two tractors right here. The combination of them both on a farm can be amazing. Medium tractors, Massey Ferguson 6718, which I believe was this one right here. I believe it is this one right here. This is the 6718 because I popped mine up a little bit. Yeah, so it's this one right here, guys. So for your lower budget, this is what I would recommend. You don't want to get anything with that doesn't have enough horsepower. Like this one has 200 horsepower max. It's going to be good, again, for pulling small stuff. You will find that JCB right here. Now, the cool thing about this JCB medium-sized tractor is not only can you add GPS to it, but you can also add a front loader attachment, which is all your small tractors and most of your medium-sized tractors. I think all medium-sized tractors take front loader pieces. No, they do not. No, they do not. I'm mistaken about that. Sorry, guys. I apologize. But that is the two tractors I recommend. And large tractors, we got the John Deere 7R350 and we've got the Fendt. All right, so go back into the store, go to large tractors, and then go to the John Deere 7R series, which I believe is this one right here. Is that the one that I've got? I want to make sure I'm telling you guys right. All right, so large tractors, John Deere 7R. I believe it is because I up my horsepower. Let me up my horsepower. Yep, 350 right here. So this is the John Deere series that I recommend. Now this is going to be medium to high budget, guys. It's not going to be low budget at all. Once you start getting going from your higher grade medium tractors, like up here, this is a medium grade tractor, into your large tractors, you're looking at high budget, okay? We're not looking at medium to low budget anymore. We're looking at medium to high budget. And the higher up you get in these tractors, the higher your budget is going to go. So if you start making good money on your farm and you can afford one of these tractors, then okay, that's fine. Come and grab you a $500,000 and $6,000 tractor. Now, I will tell you the reason I don't recommend these types of tractors here is because they turn in the middle, and I just don't like them. Now, that may not be everybody out there. These are just my personal opinions on what I think about these tractors and what I personally recommend as Drew Boy Gaming had asked me to do. So, harvesters. For lower budget harvesters, go to your store, guys, and go to vehicles and go over to harvesters, okay? And right here, guys, the Nova 330 is the one that I've got out right now, as you guys can see. This is going to be for your lower budget. It's $75,000, not that bad. It's got 175 horsepower, which is not great, but it will still harvest and get the job done. Now, I will tell you why I prefer a few of the other harvesters like this one over the cheaper ones. I will tell you exactly why. Now, if you will notice in the back of these harvesters, some of them have tailboards, right? Some of them have tailboards. And when you initiate the swath in the back, see that tailboard change? See that? That's why I like the more expensive harvesters, because the tailboard changes when you enable the swath, and when you disable it, it goes back, right? So it's this one right here, guys. The tailboard will not move. The only thing that happens when you enable the swath is this right here. This little handle moves, initially telling you the swath is activated, right? But for me, I like for my tailboards to move, letting me know, saying, hey, your swath is either enabled or disabled, okay? So you guys kind of get the gist of what I'm saying about your low budget and your medium to low budget, and then your medium to high budget vehicles, and why I prefer certain vehicles over other vehicles. So again, with the harvesters, it's all about really the tailboards, as well as the horsepower. As opposed to this one right here, I've used this harvester before. It's not bad. It's not bad. One harvester I have gotten sick of seeing, guys, and I'm not going to lie, it's this one right here. Because back when I was doing map tours, and I quit doing those for my own personal reasons, but back when I was doing map tours, it seemed like every new map that come out had this Dude's Far default harvester in the map, and I was so glad when I started seeing new equipment on newer maps. So that's one of the reasons I don't like this Dude's Far harvester. Other than that, the fact that the tailboard doesn't really work. It's just a handle that goes back and forth. So you guys kind of get the gist of what I was saying. As far as price range goes, guys, with your harvesters, that's something you kind of have to pick and choose from. Like, this is your lower range. This is and then it kind of jumps up to higher range, right? Because your default, the one that came with the game when the game first released, this was the first harvester in the game. It is $129,000. So you kind of got to just pick and choose. It all depends on where you start. New farmer mode, starting from scratch, or whatever mode you're starting in. And I'll do videos on those as well. How to start from scratch, how to start new farmer mode and all that good stuff. I'll do videos on that. This one right here, the Claus Choreo, which is $79,000, still pretty cheap. But if you want to go cheaper, you can go down to like this Choreo 875 Claus, and you can go on down to your cheapest one, which is $19,000. It's only a 3.4 meter harvest, a corner header. Now, I preferably like using the Case IH. This one, where is it at? This one right here, not the Case IH, I'm sorry, the Capello. Because, and I'll tell you the reason I like using these right here, these brands, is because they fold up. When you get done with them, you can fold them up. As you guys can see out here, this is the one I have, the one that's $120 without $5,000. This is the one I have. If I hook up to this header right here, guys, you're going to see that it has the option to unfold. And that's one of the things I really love about this Capello header, is because when you get ready to use it, you can unfold it, right? It'll completely unfold just like that. And that's the reason I prefer this header over any other header in the game. Above all else, these are the headers that I prefer, and I'll tell you why. Because when you're going to pipe out and you have to drop your crop into a trailer, and you got to pull up your trailer, you don't want your header hitting your trailer, and it's very difficult to fit your harvester in beside your trailer sometimes, depending on the size of your trailer. So you can comfortably pipe out and drive up beside your trailer, as you guys can see what I'm talking about there, and your header is completely out of the way, okay? Don't know why that pipe out option wasn't working well ago on my controller, but it wasn't. So that's kind of why I prefer that header over others, because of the, the durability of it, the way it works, and the fact that it folds up, right? And then our crop headers. So our regular crop headers, these right here, I think we went over those. If we didn't, we will go to the store, guys, go into headers. And this is one of the ones, I'm sorry, not that one. I believe it is the, is this the Case IH? It is. So go to the store, guys, go to tools, go to headers, and it's going to be this first Case IH right here, which is still pretty pricey, $42.5. But this is just big enough to get the job done. And it's well within a medium to high budget price range, right? So this isn't, there's nothing really low budget about this. I would definitely say the Dudes Far and down is your low budget. This one right here, I believe it is. I believe it's this one. Stock, it's $89,000, guys. So that's kind of the headers I prefer for low and high budget. Now, I do have a few fields set up here, guys, to test out our equipment and to show you kind of how they do. However, that's going to be a different tutorial. I was going to do this one, but that's going to be a different tutorial, guys. That is going to do it for this one. Another big shout out to Drew Boy Gaming for this tutorial, man. I hope this helped you in some way or another. This is the equipment that I prefer over any other equipment. This is the tractors, harvesters, plows, fertilizer sprayers, spreaders, rock picking thingy rubbers, stone pickers, guys, professional term. Mulchers that I prefer over any other piece in the game. With this equipment, just this equipment right here, guys, I could take a farm a long way. And I will take the same equipment, guys, and we'll do another video and we'll test each piece of equipment and see which one works better. We're going to do some test videos on the channel here. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, this is CJ Farms, and one crop at a time, we are helping America grow. I will see you all in the next video.